So I've been thinking a lot about this No King's Day yesterday. The protests and things like that. Never been one to be a part of that kind of thing. Well, I'll be honest, I've never voted in my life. You can take that as you want. Some people would probably be pretty angry about that, like, what's wrong with me, and you don't have any right to complain. Well, I don't complain. But I'm not proactive either as far as voting. And I'm not proactive either as far as going to a protest. So this protest yesterday, well, I don't watch the news, so I really don't know what's going on. For the most part, I'm okay with that. I stopped watching the news around coronavirus days because it was really detrimental to my well-being, and so I chose to not absorb that information. So I've cut out a lot of information or resources or influence when it comes to politics and all that sort of thing. Anyway. So I'm thinking about this day yesterday. And yesterday, a friend of mine, he said that he went to this protest and well, I didn't have anything positive to add about that. He and some family members went to this protest, and I'm thinking, and what I said to this person was, what do you have to protest? I mean, you've got the ideal job. You have opportunity, and your children have better opportunity than most. And so I said, well, I didn't say. I questioned that person as to why they felt the need to protest. And I got up this morning and I thought about that question again. And I thought about my feeling again, about how I felt about the protest and all that stuff. And my feeling about who has the say in protesting and who is worthy, I guess I could say, of protesting. I thought about that this morning, and I thought about this documentary that I had seen years ago. A Ken Burns documentary on PBS. I believe it's called The West. And there's several chapters in that series, but the very first one, gets me, got me, and I believe it's the reason why I feel the way I feel about protesting, voting, that sort of thing. The very first one, it talked about how the United States were established and how that all came about from Europeans that came over here trying to escape tyranny, trying to practice their religious beliefs. On death's door, coming to a strange land and being greeted by these people of this land who took them in, took care of them out of the kindness of their hearts. Out of being a good human being and taking care of others, taking care of what is of this place we call Earth. And that first series, that first chapter of that series, man, it made me cry. It was the first time that I ever understood and was told what really happened to get us to where we are now. How we are so grateful to be here where we are now. But how it came at such a shameful, horrendous display of greed and self-preservation, and there's a lot of deep shame in that, our history in that story. If you've not watched the series, Ken Burns, The West, very first one, you should watch it. Everybody should see that. So, I'm thinking about that this morning. And I'm understanding and remembering why I am so upset with a dear friend of mine telling me that they went to some protest. And I wrote a response to them this morning because I had really thought about it. Well, I really felt that it was important to say, to explain, but I feel like that there's a deep-seated shame in our country and ourselves and we just don't know or can't express it. I think if we were really honest with ourselves and you go all the way back to the beginning of how this all started, I think we all know that the foundation was corrupt to begin with. But we just don't know who to blame. We gotta find somebody to blame. It's gotta be the other person because, we stand for better. I say the other person, I say we, I am talking about two sides because we always have to have two sides. The good, the bad, the right and the wrong, dark, light. But there's this deep-seated shame this energy that we continue to hold, and we just don't seem to be able to know how to embrace that and express it, and it all comes out in weird ways, It comes out in weird ways for us as individuals. But I don't think that people are right or wrong when it comes to protest. I'm not getting at that at all. But I think we would all be wise to check ourselves. Although we don't feel responsible in 2025, we are responsible for all the time before us. And I really believe that energy goes on. And so I feel like we're maybe at a moment of I think we're at a really great moment that could go either way. I feel like right now we're like at the Hatfield and McCoy stage, right? We all come from the same place, and we're all together, and we're all connected in some way, but we all have some wrongs, or we all have some point to prove, and that's all on the scale of micro. But if you get on the macro scale, if you just zoom out a bit, if you just understand and remember that we're all guilty. Yeah? We're all guilty, and we know it. We're all mad about it, but we have to be mad at somebody else, about something else. When I really think and believe that it's just all this deep-seated energy of how all of this got started and how, honestly, our country was founded by people who came here, took advantage of others, killed them, lied to them, cheated and stealed, claimed it as their own, went from there. Like, I'm no scholar or professional with any of this, but I mean, that's kind of the basic idea. And, you know, you can't tell me that we don't all have shame in knowing that. Whether we know it, whether we've been told it, I didn't come to the realization until years ago when I watched that documentary of really what the truth is about the foundation of our country. We're just so upset with ourselves and so against ourselves. But man, look at where we started and look at what we did. And what do we really have to be mad about? Because I don't think that we really get what we should be mad about. There's a lot of shame in the foundation of our country. But there's also a lot of responsibility in what roles we play in it now. And apologizing. And admitting that that was the wrong thing to do. What I'm talking about right now, guys, it goes back way beyond before I was born. But I know that it happened, and I believe that admitting it and speaking on it now brings healing, an understanding of, to me, why we are where we are now. And it brings hope to me that if I can understand that, if I can make peace with that, if I can see things in that way, if I can humble myself, if I can see both sides of an argument or of a discussion, and if I can remember what opinions are, not that I'm anybody, but I feel like if I can acknowledge that, then there must be somebody else in this world that can too, and so on and so forth, you know. And if I can talk about it, then maybe that inspires somebody else to do it as well. So, outside today, the birds. Anyway, this whole thing's got me thinking and reevaluating and also taking ownership and talking about these things. I believe as long as we keep trying, as long as we keep talking, as long as we keep expressing, we haven't given up. So there is hope. So hey, have a good day. Thank you for listening. I believe there is hope. It's just a matter of perspective, I suppose. So yeah.